have implemented the feature, and I want to kind of link it to that particular job. So advanced search, click that, save as number, change list. So these would create a pending job, a pending change list here. So now let's say this is the code file. Open up in Visual Studio. It's taking some time to open up the editor.
You may want to open a text file maybe.
It's basically taking time to open up the Visual Studio interface, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just opening up the Visual Studio since it's a CS.
Okay, so this is the code file that we have. So let's close this. Now, what I want to do is I want to basically put this file into this change list. So drag and drop it. And then now what I want to do is submit this change list. So submit, and the particular job that I'm working on, I can keep it open or closed. So let's keep it open and let's submit the change list. So that means the whatever code I have written to implement this particular requirement is now getting submitted. Okay. So now this is done as a Perforce user. I have written my code and kind of checked in that particular file in the context of the job that was here. So if I now double click on the job, you get to see that this is the change list and this was the file. Okay. And if I now, yeah, so that's it for Perforce. Now let's also go to 108 and see how an Eclipse developer would see all these items from within Eclipse. So like Visual Studio, we have a plugin from Eclipse, and you can see the Omnibus menu here. So you can connect as developer D, and so this is, so let's open up the requirement. So this opens up the requirement list, and if I so this is the requirement, particular requirement. We have advanced search for products. So let's open it up to get to see the details. So you can see, like in Visual Studio, I can have the similar kind of detail from within Eclipse. And if I go to traceability now, it shows more traceable items because by now we have created some more items and linked to this particular requirement. So the quality center test case shows up here. This is the Perforce change list. This is the requisite pro requirement. This was the project implicit requirement. And this is the TFS change set. So from within Eclipse, as things are happening, different people are working on this requirement, check-in file, creating test cases, I can see it immediately from within the Eclipse environment. Okay? So now let's go back and open up Kovair tool where a project manager, Mary, how she can see the progress as things are happening in different tools. So let's see that. So let's go to the requirements list. So this is the Kovair, the workbench for different artifacts coming from different tools. You can see it here. So you can see this is the requirement that we submitted from the portal side. So let's go view this particular requirement. And if you now go down, it has several sections. So let's now open up the link to requirements section. So as a manager, I'm looking how the things are getting done to implement this particular requirement. So I see a functional requirement is created in Requisite Pro, and I can see it here. Okay. Now let's open up the link test cases section. So you get to see the test case. So this test case was created in Quality Center, and I can see it here. Okay. Now let's open up the link change list. So this is the Perforce change list that was created, and I can see it from here. Now let's see the TFS change set. So this is the TFS change set. I can click on that. It should take me to the TFS change set component, and I can from there find out what was the file change. So this was the file change. So get to that file, and I can open up the file. So if I open up with a notepad, see, this is the file that we have written in Visual Studio to implement this particular feature. So this is the file, I can see it here. So one important thing to remember here is that these files, like the Perforce file or the TFS file, these files are not getting stored within the Kovair Omnibus infrastructure. These are getting on demand. So as you click on the file content, it is going to TFS and bringing the file on demand. So this is what we call as a federated data structure. Okay, so we bring the file on demand from the configuration management tool because we don't need to store or replicate thousands of files into the Kovair system. Oh, one other thing I need to show is the Sharepoint. Log into Sharepoint. So if I now go, so in the Sharepoint we have created a kind of custom list. So here also you can see the requirement is there from the portal site, and the requirement from Requisite Pro is also there. So what I want to do is I want to create a new document here. So upload and browse and share docs 2. That okay. And go down. I should see web share docs new. Edit the property.